day. My name is Refiloe. I was born in Pretoria, but spent about 10 years of my childhood in Lesotho, so I don't remember any of my Pretoria childhood.
If we were to play a video back of your childhood and the key moments that stood out in your childhood, what would you say those things were?
Sure, so much, eh? I think for me, it's being an only girl with two brothers, working on my dad's farm, riding my bike. I was such a tomboy growing up. I thought I was one of the boys for the longest time. Yes, I knew I was a girl, but my behavior, like even with tennis, I refused to play other girls for quite a long time. I generally only wanted to play with the boys. When we used to play tennis as a family, my dad and I would be each other's partners playing against my brothers. And I remember growing up putting Oris and freezing it and going to the tennis court with the sandwiches we'd made the night before, playing tennis the whole night, and then maybe the whole day. And then in the afternoon, my dad would take us to go and swim. So I think those for me are such fond memories of my childhood. We also used to run. My dad used to we used to play tennis after school, and then afterwards we would still go and run as if you're preparing for a marathon. We would literally run almost a 5-kilometer distance every night. It was part of our routine. But what I loved about my dad is I never grew up with a dad who used to say, Refiloe, this is the work for the boys and this is the work for the girls. We all cooked, we all weeded the garden, we all watered the plants in the house. In winter, we all helped with making the fire in the lounge so we could enjoy the fire because it was very cold. So funny enough, I'm actually physically stronger than my brothers.
So would you say that sort of approach that your father took to raising you, where there was no gender assigned roles to the family, do you think that maybe planted the very foundational seeds for joining a Liberal Party, where it doesn't matter whether if you're a man or a woman, everyone has the same ability to achieve and do the same things?
Correct. And I think specifically my dad would say to me growing up, and I've always done this, his words which I pass on to other girl children was, don't aspire to be the girl in the passenger seat of the boyfriend's car. Aspire to be the girl who owns the car. And that's how I always believed. Go acquire, be my own self, compete with the boys. I put myself on equal footing with the boys in everything. I was raised by my dad because when I turned 6, my mom got a scholarship to go and study in Cuba, and she didn't live with us until 1994. So we're talking a child who didn't have a mother from 1993 until pretty much 1994, when my mom was allowed to live with us. In 2011, having been in the party building structures, I had 150 wards in villages and townships across South Africa where I never had to roll out of bed. I got up with a passion. I wanted to change. I was falling in love with this organization because I could feel that this party had the potential to move South Africa to where I envisioned it going, for all South Africans to work together as the true rainbow nation, as the dream of Nelson Mandela. So I applied. I was told I must join because they wanted me to be a mayoral candidate. And thank goodness I didn't get it, because passion I had, but I had no experience to be a mayoral candidate at that time. And it's only later in life that I learned that that was a blessing in disguise. Having lost the mayoral candidacy race, though, to a colleague of mine, Shirley Liu, and a good friend too, I was asked to be a ward councillor in Benoni because that ward needed somebody who can work from an informal settlement right up to the boardrooms. And I went into that ward. I campaigned it in 6 weeks with the assistance of the Democratic Alliance and my predecessor, who introduced me to all the community organizations. My vision for Ekurhuleni is truly to see the city become a world-class city, a green city, a smart city. I want to see this a city that goes back to basics and makes sure that all the service delivery things that need to happen. It cannot be right that people have no electricity. It cannot be right that people have no water. It cannot be right that stormwater drainage has not been sorted for almost a good 20 years. We need stormwater drainage done properly because then we can also be protecting our roads. We need to make sure that we build infrastructure, we eradicate the backlog of all the infrastructure that is behind, and we use all the money that is given to the municipality by Treasury, including the grants that we get. I want South Africans, when they walk through Ekurhuleni, to say, I can see the city. This city looks better than Cape Town. This is a world-class city. I want a public transport system where people get on a bus or a taxi and feel like they're in a world-class city. I want a clean city where we recycle, where people are working. That's the city that I want to see people in. And I want people to look back and say, Refiloe came, she didn't give us empty promises. She said it will take time, but she worked hard to ensure that we get this world-class city called Ekurhuleni. And so as I go through my neighborhood of Ekurhuleni with my lived experiences, I want children to walk safely home, not feeling like they could get raped in the cities, which is why we need to beef up our metro police to patrol the streets and help them with crossing the street, and also to avoid things like jail walking. I want people to feel that they are in a world-class city. I wouldn't want to pay rates and taxes. I pay them out of obligation and to be a law-abiding citizen. But to be honest, even I don't think I'm getting the value for the money I pay to this municipality. So I really want people to say, you know, Refiloe came and this is what she promised. And after so many months, we started feeling a difference. And after about 5 years in office, I want people to not even have to be campaigned. I want people who will vote back the Democratic Alliance because they can feel they're living in a world-class city, or it's moving towards becoming a world-class city. That's the city I want people to be in.